Hi, I wanted to show you a game changer. I had a few videos over the summer about AI and how utterly transformational it's going to be. And I was thinking, I had to do some stuff with AI today, and I was thinking, well, why don't I show you what I meant by that? I think Bill Gates actually said, I don't know, in the teens, 2018, 19, that by 2030 you wouldn't need software engineers. I think I'll show you why you might need someone with expertise, but the number of software engineers that are necessary to run a civilization, even with a growing technological environment, it's going to be greatly curtailed, and you'll understand very clearly why. So my what I do, what my day job is, I got a few different side gigs. As you can probably see if you watch some of my videos. But my day job is I'm the authority having jurisdiction over major nuclear waste handling and nuclear research facility. And one thing I implemented, when I took over, was an absolute mandated requirement that individuals are going to be certified if they're going to go out and do inspections. I put together some curriculum and also wrote some code for what you see in the background here to do this is a training utility. So I'm showing this to you because I want to show you an example. So this probably realistically took me, a lot of this I just did on personal time, actually during a holiday, a Christmas shutdown. So it's hard to quantify it, but it probably by the time I created all of the questions, which were derived from ICC tests I've taken over the years, and then wrote the HTML and JavaScript. Honestly, I'm probably out 60 hours per examination. Now, what I mean by examination, in this case, this page just shows like 10 questions. For the fire inspector, I think there's 32 of these. They go through the curriculum a few times, highlight in the code where they're, where the references are that I give them. Like there's a reference right here that pops up, a hint. And, you go through blah, 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 blah. So, I answered three out of 10. That's how it works, okay? Now, what I want to do is I want to show you, okay, it's just going to be mind-numbing what I'm going to show you. So keep in mind, 60 hours. Let's go and take a look. There's a couple that you can use. There's Claude, there's ChatGPT. You probably heard more about ChatGPT, but let's use Claude really quick. I'll use both. See, I'm just going to cut and paste what I just tried. So what that is I want 10 multiple choice questions using the following text, which we're going to insert from the 2018 International Fire Code. Use two dashes and a greater than symbol at the end of the correct answer. That's so I know which answer to choose is right. The multiple choice answers should be started with A, B, C, D, going in descending order. The questions should be designed to help someone pass the ICC Fire Inspector 1 exam. Each question should end with a reference in parentheses immediately after the question mark for the question and before the answer choices. Okay? So that's what I'm asking AI to produce for me. Okay? Straightforward. Let's go ahead and grab some stuff from the 2018 IFC. Here in Idaho, we're still under the 2018, even though it's 2025. So let's go ahead and grab some questions here. I'm going to just copy the code over, is what I'm trying to do here. And there we go. Got that. I'm just going to take 3 pages. Okay? I could always put in more. Control C. Come over now to actually Claude. Claude is like ChatGPT, just a little bit different. I'm going to just cut and paste from the code book. It's going right in. So you see it was added there. I'm going to submit this now to Claude. Bam, it's done. So let's find out what happens. It's going to go ahead and process that. It's looking through it. You can see how it has done this now, and it just gave me my 10 questions. Gotcha. So as you can see, it just blasted through and created a series of 10 questions. Bam, just like that. Really cool. I'm going to go ahead and hit the copy down here, so it copies what the output from Claude is. And then I have a quiz generator application that I use. Let's see. So it's going to modify some regular expressions here. I gave it a different, when I wrote it in, I said use 2 dashes and a greater than. I think it put out output A, B, C, D. And this is just a regular, don't get caught up on this. It's just a regular expression parser. Yeah, there it goes. So got that in there. Let's make sure it all is clean. I'm just going to quickly, you know, Claude gave me the preface and here are the 10 questions, blah, 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 blah. I don't need that in here, so I'm just going to get rid of it really quick. Okay, so starting with number 1, let's generate the code. So you saw how fast that was. I created the questions and I generated the code. Now, this isn't the actual code. This is a parsing utility. I'll show you how AI generates software like this in the next step, but I'm just going to copy the HTML, cut and paste. Now, with that said, take a look at just how ugly the formatting is. Okay, that's one thing where some software background is necessary. It's to modify things, to clean things up, but I'm going to save that right now. Control S. I'm going to go to my delete me folder because I'm going to delete this. And let's just take a look. Ta-da! Done. So, there it is. Now take a look how this works. So let's just look at this one. What is the means of egress capacity factor for stairways in buildings with an automatic sprinkler system and emergency voice alarm communication system? So stairways, normally it's 0.3. Because you're in a sprinklered facility, it's 0.2. And just by the way, NFPA 101 doesn't allow that. You can see how this software, what it does is it highlights in green if you're correct. You can see I didn't get the other ones right because I didn't answer them. Accuracy is 0.1. There's 10 questions. You got one right. All that's automated. Okay. It may not be quite as pretty as what I showed you before. The quiz over here, the fire inspector stuff, but it's so easy to modify. I can clean it up and make it good like that. So what I just established was literally something that took me, now I'd have to go through this. I'd have to, do this, 32 times. But the reality is I can automate some of that. So instead of just doing a little snipping of the code book, do a big piece, just take 10, maybe have 100 questions in a website or 10 or whatever it happens to be. But you get the feel that this can be done orders of magnitude faster. I literally could have the whole thing done in an hour versus the 60 hours it took me to create the original curriculum. So very fast. Now that's the future. That's why AI is going to absolutely revolutionize things. Does that mean you don't need some background? Well, as you saw here, I have to know what regular expressions do. I mean, there's some basics you still have to know in terms of software. So it's not going to completely obsolete the need for technical understanding. But what it's going to do is just rapidly overhaul, the requirements for what we do. So let's go ahead and do something else here. I want to show ChatGPT this time. You hear a lot about it, but what does it do? So what do I want to do in ChatGPT? Years ago, I developed some software for geodesic domes. I built a couple geodesic domes. I was kind of interested in it, did some research on it. So one thing I'd like to do someday is create an automated engineering tool for geodesic domes. I think they're cool, and I'd like to be able to, automate things a little bit. So let's just ask ChatGPT something. Let's say write the HTML and JavaScript for a web page that gives the area of the surface of a geodesic dome. Okay, let's do it. Let's hit enter. Bam. It's going to write the code for me. Here's the HTML and JavaScript code for a simple web page that calculates the surface area of a geodesic dome. It uses a 3-frequency geodesic dome as an example, allowing the user to input dome's radius and calculate the approximate surface area. So, still going. It's going to actually write the code. Now, this is what Bill Gates meant by you're not going to need software engineers. Look at that. I mean, this should frighten any software engineer right now. Is this perfect? It is not perfect. So I'm going to have to, it's still explaining it, but I think I could get the code, copy the code. I just copied the code, bam, write the code. I just cut and pasted it. Let's save it now. It's HTML. You guys ready? Bam. Hit Google. Okay, enter dome radius in meters. Let's go, let's put a 1 meter radius. You can see it's enter dome radius in meters. Radius is half of the diameter. So let's do like let's just do a one. Let's say it's 2 meters or 2 feet wide. It's 2 units. Let's just put in 1 meter. That's actually 2 meters wide. Calculate surface area. So 1 squared is 1 times 3.14, 3.14. If you're dealing with a geodesic dome, it's a hemisphere. Okay, so it would, the surface area of a sphere would be 4 pi r squared. This recognizes that you're dealing with a hemisphere, half of a sphere, so it's 2 pi r squared. So 2 pi r squared would be 2 times 3.14, which is 6.28. Gives you the right number. Automated. Bam, you're done. Now, is that correct? It is not the correct number. A geodesic dome, you're going to have for a standard 3 frequency. That's what the AI said it was going to create. It would create a 3 frequency geodesic dome. Typically, you're going to be 3/8 or 5/8 of a sphere on a 3 frequency dome. And you have a half dome would have 90 triangles, individual triangles on a 3 frequency dome. So the reality is it's going to be less than 6.28. It gave you the wrong number. That's why you still need some technical expertise to modify this. I'd have to go into the code, modify it, and play with it. But you get the gist. This should blow everybody's mind away, because it has just given me the code that I need to be able to start a technical website. And I can modify this. You take a little bit more time. I can get the strut lengths of a geodesic dome or whatever it might be. So it revolutionizes software development. It revolutionizes training, as I showed formerly. This is a game changer, because you're really actually dropping your time down, 1/50th of the time that you need to do the job. So that's why it accelerates stuff. So because of these technologies, what you're going to see is an explosion in productivity once people learn how to use these things. And what does that do? The people with the understanding of how to do this, you can learn this fast. I mean, look, it doesn't take long to do it. The technical piece behind it, like I mentioned before, you have to understand like a geodesic dome, how that works, or you have to understand some of the basics of the code so you can, tweak things. But the reality is, if you gain expertise in these fields, you don't need to spend a lot of time gaining expertise in the software side of things. Game changer. Revolutionary. This is incredible. Have a good day.